In the heart of New York City stands La Maison Eclatante, a restaurant where dreams are served on a plate. Leading this symphony of flavors is Chef Marco Rossi, a celebrity chef whose name echoes through the culinary world. In the heat of service, he's a force, his voice sharp and authoritative, directing his team with the precision of a conductor. Every dish that leaves his kitchen bears his mark of excellence, a testament to his unrelenting passion. But as the final guests depart and the dining room grows still, another side of Rossi's emerges. Beyond the swinging doors, the kitchen lies quiet and dim, its earlier chaos replaced by an eerie calm. The stainless steel surfaces, once alive with activity, now sit cold and silent. And here, in this shadowed space, Maria Gonzalez begins her work. Maria, the janitor, moves through the emptiness with a steady rhythm. Her hands, worn from years of toil, grip a mop as she scrubs the tiled floor, erasing the day's mess. The dim light overhead catches the faint lines of exhaustion on her face, but she presses on, her dedication as unyielding as the stains she battles. This is her domain, the unseen, gritty underbelly of Rossi's, where the glamour fades and the labor endures. When Chef Marco retreats to his office, his mind still buzzing from the night's triumphs, Maria remains. She wipes down counters, sweeps away crumbs, and restores order to the space that fuels the restaurant's success. Her work is solitary, her presence unnoticed by those who dined just hours before. Rossi's is a place of duality, opulence in the front, resilience in the back. Two worlds bound together under one roof, each vital, each telling its own story. Before we dive into this emotional journey, where in the world are you watching from? Do subscribe and hit the notification bell. Maria's life stretches beyond the polished floors of Rossi's into a quieter, harder place few ever see. Her morning starts early, after a late night at her second job cleaning an office building. She steps into her small apartment, the air thick with the sounds of a restless city. In a tiny room, Louis lies asleep, his thin frame lost under a faded blanket. Maria pauses at his side, her eyes tracing his pale face. She counts the bills in her pocket, worn dollars scraped together for his medical bills. The money never feels like enough. She tucks it away, her hands trembling slightly from hours of work. Louis stirs but doesn't wake, and Maria lets out a soft breath, relieved. Her routine is a tightrope walk, balancing jobs, caring for Louis, and holding on to hope. She heads out again, leaving him with a neighbor before her shift at Rossi's. At the restaurant, the bustle surrounds her. She wipes down tables, her movements quick but heavy. A coworker spots the shadows under her eyes. "Maria, you look worn out. Everything okay?" She shrugs, a faint smile flickering. "Just another day," she says, turning back to her work. But her mind drifts. A memory cuts in sharp and clear. A doctor's office, years ago. Louis's diagnosis, words she didn't understand at first, sinking in like stones. The day presses on. Hours later, when the last customer leaves Rossi's, Maria slips into a dim corner. She pulls out her phone, her fingers hesitant as she dials. Her voice drops to a whisper. "I just need more time," she tells the nurse on the line. The words hang there, fragile and desperate. The nurse's tone is kind but steady. "We'll try, Ms. Gonzalez, but we can't wait long." Maria nods, though no one can see it, and ends the call. She leans against the wall, her shoulders sagging. The restaurant is silent now, but her thoughts roar, Louis's shallow breathing, the stack of bills on her kitchen table, the endless race against time. This is Maria's world, tucked away from the bright lights of Rossi's. A place where every hour of work is measured in medicine doses, where love for her son fuels her through the ache in her bones. Back home, she'll check on Louis again, counting the minutes until she can rest, though rest never really comes. It's a life built on small, fierce hopes, stitched together with every dollar she earns. The clock ticks past midnight, and Rossi's kitchen sits dark and quiet. Maria stands alone, a sponge in her hand, scrubbing a stove that already shines. Her movements are slow, her eyes distant. A sudden ring pierces the air, her phone, buzzing on the counter. She stares at it, her chest tightening. She knows this call can't be good. She picks it up, her fingers unsteady. Yes, she says, her voice small, almost lost in the empty room. The reply is cold, straight to the point. Miss Gonzalez, it's the hospital. Lewis's care can't continue without payment. We need it now. Maria grips the counter, her knuckles pale. I'm trying, she says, her tone breaking. Please, just a few more days. The voice doesn't budge. End of the week. That's the deadline. Then, a click, the call ends. Maria's legs give out. She slides down, her back hitting the counter's edge, her hands shaking as she presses them to her mouth. The sobs start, soft at first, then louder, spilling into the silence. She curls in on herself, her apron bunched in her fists, her tears falling fast. Beyond the kitchen, Marco stops short. He'd been heading to lock up, his keys still in hand, when her voice caught him. Now, he stands just out of sight, his shadow still. He hears it all, the plea, the silence, the crying. His hand tightens around the keys, the metal digging into his palm. His face changes, his eyes narrow, his mouth sets in a hard line. This isn't his business, not his problem. But her pain hits him, stirs something deep he can't shake. He shifts his weight, torn. Part of him wants to walk away, leave it alone. Another part remembers nights like this, when he was the one begging for a break. Maria's cries quiet down. She pulls herself up, brushing her cheeks dry, smoothing her hair. She takes a deep breath, grabs her sponge, and starts scrubbing again, like nothing happened. Marco stays still a moment longer. Her strength, even now, sticks with him. He turns away, he steps light, heading back down the hall. The kitchen grows quiet again, but the weight of her struggle hangs in the air. Marco carries it with him, her voice echoing in his head, pulling at something he didn't expect to feel. Marco sits in the quiet of his office, the restaurant's clatter gone for the night. He leans forward, elbows on his desk, staring at the walls covered in awards, gleaming frames, proud headlines, proof he made it. But right now, they feel like shadows, not his own. His eyes catch a faded photo, half hidden by papers. It's him, younger, standing with his mentor outside a rundown place, his first restaurant. The sign's crooked, the paint chipped, but his grin is wide. That time rushes back. Nights without sleep, counting coins to keep the lights on, the fear of shutting down. He remembers his mentor, old and rough around the edges, pressing an envelope into his hands. Cash, enough to save the place. Keep going, the man had said, his voice low. Marco had promised to return it, but his mentor just shrugged. Help someone else instead. Now, those words sit heavy with him. Maria's voice from earlier, cracked, pleading, won't leave his head. He rubs his face, feeling the weight. He reaches for a drawer, pulls out a checkbook. His fingers grip the pen, hovering over the page. 50,000, it's a drop for him now, but for her, it's air to breathe. He starts to write, the sound sharp in the stillness. Then he stops, hand frozen. What if she won't take it? Maria's got fire in her, stubborn, strong, even when she's falling apart. He looks at the check, half done, his mind spinning. Maybe she'd see it as charity, something to push away. Maybe she'd rather break than bend. But then he sees Lewis, tiny, weak, needing more than she can give. He hears her quiet cries again, feels them in his bones. He can't turn his back. He finishes it, signing his name fast, clean. He slides it into an envelope, folding it with care. He stands, heads for the door, but stops short. His mentor's voice echoes, help someone else. Marco breathes deep, mind set. He tucks the envelope in his pocket, planning to leave it where she'll find it, no talk, no fuss. But as he steps out, a thought sticks, will her pride let her take it? The question floats there, unanswered, thick in the air. Marco moves down the hall, his steps light, his head still wrestling. The kitchen is quiet now, the day's rush gone. Marco walks alone, his shoes tapping softly on the tile. In his hand, an envelope, plain, white, heavy with meaning. He reaches Maria's locker, a metal box in the shadows. Her name sits there, scratched and faint. He stops, listens, then looks back quick. Nobody's around. His fingers grip the envelope tighter. He lifts the locker's latch, slow and careful, like it might wake someone. The door creaks open just enough. He slides the envelope in. It lands light on her work gloves, sitting there like it belongs. The latch clicks shut, sharp in the stillness. He freezes, hand resting there, heart thumping loud in his chest. Inside that envelope, a check, $50,000. Money that could fix things, pay bills, give hope. It's big, bold, a way out of the dark. And a note, short and clear, written by him, for Louis's care. From someone who cares. No hints, no fuss, just a push to help her keep going. Marco takes a step back, staring at the locker like it's more than metal now. He pictures her opening it tomorrow, eyes wide, hands shaking maybe. Will she smile? Cry? Wonder who did it? He doesn't know, but he hopes it lands soft, like a gift she didn't see coming. He turns to leave, his shape fading down the hall. The air feels thick, charged, like something big just shifted. That envelope stays behind, small but strong, a secret chance waiting for her to claim it. Maria steps into the kitchen that evening, her shoulders slumped after another exhausting day. She heads to her locker, reaching for her apron like she does every night. But this time, something stops her cold. An envelope sits there, plain and white, resting on top of her things. She stares at it, confused, then picks it up with shaky hands. She tears it open, the sound sharp in the quiet room. Inside, a check, $50,000. Her eyes widen, her breath catching in her throat. A note slips out, landing on the floor. She bends down, reads it, for Louis's care. From someone who cares. Her heart pounds as the words sink in. She drops to her knees, the check pressed against her chest. Tears spill over, and she clasps her hands tight, looking up at the ceiling. "Thank you," she whispers, her voice trembling. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." The tears fall faster now, a mix of disbelief and gratitude washing over her. The kitchen fades away. All she feels is the paper in her hands, the promise it holds. She pulls out her phone, fumbling with the buttons, and calls her sister. "Rosa," she says, her voice thick. "It's a miracle, Rosa. Louis can live." Rosa's voice comes through, startled. "Maria? What's going on?" Maria takes a shaky breath. "Someone left me a check. $50,000. It's for Louis's treatment. We're saved, Rosa." There's silence, then Rosa's voice, soft and amazed. "Who would do that?" "I don't know," Maria replies, wiping her eyes. "But it's real. It's enough to help him." She ends the call, still on the floor, the envelope now cradled in her lap. Her mind races, who could have known about Louis? How did they know she needed this? But those questions can wait. For now, she feels hope, real, solid hope, for the first time in months. She stands, brushing the tears from her cheeks, and tucks the check into her pocket. It's light, but it carries the weight of a new beginning. As she ties her apron, the kitchen feels different. The air's not so heavy anymore. The future's not so dark. Maria steps into Ross's, the check tucked deep in her pocket. It's a mystery she can't shake, a weight she carries alone. She pulls on her apron, her eyes drifting across the kitchen. Pots clang, voices shout, but she's lost in her own thoughts. Who did this? Who knew? She starts with the sous chef, leaning against the counter. "Hey, anyone near my locker yesterday?" Her tone is light, almost playful. He shrugs, tossing a rag over his shoulder. "Not that I saw." "What's up?" "Nothing big," she says, brushing it off. She moves on, her gaze sharp, watching everyone. Near the bar, a waiter stacks glasses, humming to himself. "You see anything odd last night?" she asks, wiping a counter she doesn't need to clean. He grins, eyes twinkling. "Maybe the food critic left it? Sneaky tip for the soup?" Maria chuckles, but it's forced. A critic wouldn't know about Louis. This was personal. Then she spots Marco. He's by the stove, shouting at a line cook, his apron stained with sauce. But his glances flicker her way, quick, nervous. He's been strange all week. Dodging her, turning away when she talks. She catches him near the lockers sometimes, head down, moving fast. Her stomach twists. Something's off. She watches him now, his shoulders stiff, his voice louder than it needs to be. A memory hits her, sudden and clear. That night, the call about Louis, her tears in the empty hall. She thought she was alone. But then she remembers, a thin line of light under Marco's office door. Late, after closing. He hadn't left. Her breath catches. Was he there? Listening? Knowing? She studies him across the room. His hands move fast, plating fish, but his eyes dart, avoiding hers. He's unraveling. Maria edges closer, her voice soft. "Chef?" He spins, too quick, his face tight. "Yeah? What?" His words snap like a rubber band. She falters, then recovers. "Just, thanks for covering my shift last week." He grunts, nods once, and turns away. But his fingers slip, a spoon clattering to the floor. Maria steps back, her mind buzzing. He's nervous, too nervous. She feels it in her bones. Later, she lingers by her locker, staring at the spot where the envelope Saturday. Her fingers trace the edge, her thoughts racing. It's Marco. It has to be. But why hide it? Why her? She clenches her jaw, decision made. She'll ask him. No more circling. But as she starts down the hall, a shadow of doubt creeps in. What if he laughs it off? What if she's wrong? Her pulse thumps, steady and loud. She keeps walking, each step firm, ready for the truth. Maria waits until the kitchen grows still, the last footsteps fading away. Marco stands alone, his back turned, cleaning a counter with calm, careful wipes. She steps forward, her shoes clicking lightly. "Chef?" Her tone is soft but steady. He turns, the light catching half his face, his eyes sharp and careful. "What's on your mind?" Maria pulls an envelope from her pocket and holds it up. "Why did you do it?" Her question cuts through the quiet. Marco stops, his hand tight on the cloth. He looks away, his face hard. "I don't follow." She takes another step, her eyes locked on him. "You were there. You heard everything." His shoulders drop, like something heavy slips off. He lets the cloth fall, his voice low. "Fine. I heard you." Maria's breath shakes. "Why keep it to yourself?" He runs a hand over his face, pressing against old, tired lines. "I'm no good with words. Never have been." She stands there, waiting, her chest tight, needing him to say more. Marco stares at the floor, his voice quieter now. "Someone pulled me up once. When I had nothing. They told me to pass it on someday." He stops, his gaze far off. "Your turn came up." Maria's eyes sting, tears building fast. "You didn't have to." He lifts a shoulder, a faint smile tugging his lips. "Maybe. But I did anyway." She moves closer, her hands shaking. "Thank you," she whispers, her voice cracking. Then, without a second thought, she throws her arms around him. Marco goes stiff, caught off guard, not used to this. But then, bit by bit, his arms come up, holding her gently, like he's scared to ruin it. They stay like that, two people tied together by something unexpected, a moment born from struggle and a quiet, good act. Maria steps back, brushing her eyes. I don't know how to make this right. Marco shakes his head. Look after your kid. That's all I need. She nods, a small smile breaking through. I will. He picks up the cloth again, turning to the counter. Go on, get out of here. You've got more important places to be. Maria lets out a little laugh, light and easy. She walks to the door, the envelope still in her hand, feeling less like a puzzle now and more like something precious. The hospital room glows with sunlight, spilling across the floor, warming everything it touches. Louis sits up in bed, his back against a pile of pillows, a big smile lighting up his face. Maria bends down, her hand soft as she brushes his hair back. You're getting stronger, she says, her tone warm and full of pride. Louis lets out a laugh, bright and loud, the kind that fills the air. He throws his arms around her neck, pulling her into a hug. She wraps him up tight, her chest rising and falling with a deep breath. The fear that used to hang over her is gone now, replaced by something lighter. The room doesn't feel like a hospital anymore. It's a place where good things start, where the days ahead look brighter. Over at Ross's, the night takes a turn. The kitchen still loud with clanging pots, but Marco steps out, his usual stiff posture gone. He heads to the bar, where the staff huddles after the last table clears. They freeze, staring as he pulls up a stool. Get me a drink, he says, his voice rough but easy. The bartender hesitates, then grabs a glass, pouring fast. The others exchange looks, unsure what to make of it. Marco raises his drink, tipping it toward them. You did good tonight, he says, short and to the point. Someone chuckles, then the whole group joins in. Glasses clink together, the sound cutting through the quiet. Marco takes a sip, his face relaxing. He's not just the guy in charge anymore, he's one of them, and it fits him better than he expected. Meanwhile, Maria walks into a little store, her arms soon loaded with bags, flour, sugar, a new pan that shines under the lights. She hands over the money, smiling at the cashier, who nods back. Maria steps outside, the bag snug against her side, her walk quick and sure. At home, she lines up the supplies on the counter, her fingers running over each one. She glances at Louis, curled up asleep, his chest moving slow and steady. Soon, mijo, she whispers, her words soft but firm, like a secret she's ready to share. The days ahead don't feel heavy anymore. They're open, full of chances, waiting for her to make them real. Ross is alive again, buzzing with energy as plates clatter and voices overlap. The smell of warm bread drifts through the air, mixing with the chatter of happy guests. Maria's in the back, wiping tables with a steady hand. She's humming now, a soft little song, her shoulders relaxed. The weight she carried for so long, it's lighter today. Marco's near the stove, stirring a pot, watching the room. He hears Maria's tune, and a smile creeps onto his face. It's small, but it's real, something new for him. The place is packed, waiters rushing, lights shining bright. But there's more here now, a warmth that wasn't there before. Kindness isn't a crime, it's a legacy. One good deed can spread, changing things quietly, lifting hearts. Maria's got hope again, dreams she can almost touch. Louis is smiling more, his voice bouncing off their walls. Marco's softer now, his days less heavy. It all came from one simple act, a gift slipped into an envelope, no name attached, just kindness stepping in. This is what stays, not the noise, not the rush, but the good that grows when someone dares to care. If this story got to you, pass it on to share some hope. And hit subscribes for more heartwarming stories.